All right, welcome in everyone. Farmer Cop here for my beginner's guide to Farming Simulator 26. I am going to be playing on the Nintendo Switch, the regular Nintendo Switch with the Nintendo Switch Edition. However, this will work if you're on your mobile device as well. It's the same exact game. The controls just will be slightly different for you. So just be aware of that. If you'd like to pick up a copy of this for the Nintendo Switch, what I will do is I will put a little card down on the bottom of your screen so you guys can pick that up. If you play on the Nintendo Switch 2, I'd recommend you get the Farming Simulator Signature Edition, which is a much better game than this. And that's designed only for the Switch 2. You can play Farming Simulator 26 on the Switch Original or the Switch 2, but I'd recommend, again, if you have a Switch 2, you get the Signature Edition. But anyhow, and here you can see there's challenges. So you can, sow 5 hectares of wheat if you'd like to get that, and then you have your weekly money boost, which will come every so often. And there's some settings in here. The only thing I've really done is turn the music down and a couple of other things like that. But yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to go to career. I'm going to go down here, just choose a new game. We're going to go, you can go creative or career, and either one will allow you to do whatever you'd like to do. I'm going to go career mode, and then we're going to do on Harbrook, because I haven't really done a whole lot of stuff on this one yet. I've mostly been on Dawnridge, which is the American map. This one's kind of more of a German, European style map. So I'll hit that, and then we will let this load in. Okay, and then once it loads in, you'll get an option to create your character. You can choose however you want to do that. And then it's going to ask you this: welcome to Farming Simulator. Would you like to start a short guided tour? This is what we're going to go through, and then I'm also going to add some extra stuff that you should know in addition to what the tour covers. So if you watch this video, you probably don't need to do the tour, but if you'd like to, you can, or you could even do it while going along with me on it. So yeah, we're going to hit A for yes. It says, it's mid-morning when you arrive at the new farm. Walter, your grandfather, is no longer able to look after the farm, so you are now taking over. You probably have no idea who Walter is if you haven't played other farming simulators. He is an NPC in Farming Simulator 25. There's no NPCs in Farming Simulator 26, the mobile version. 25 is the full version. But anyhow, so it just kind of doesn't make any sense if you don't know that. But familiarize yourself with the game before you go to work. So let's start with the interface. You will find the important information on your screen. So up there, you have the help menu, which that's just the way to get into the help menu. Anyhow. And then you also have the map icon. You have the weather, which it's currently sunny. Well, actually, I should say it is sunny right now, but we'll get into this a little bit later. You can look at the date in there. It says, check the in-game date to plan your farm work. There's no seasonal growth, so you don't have to even really think about that or what to plant where. Then it says time, shows the current in-game time. You can adjust that as well to go faster or slower. And you also can skip time if you'd like to using the farmhouse. So I'll show you that as well. And then we have our current farm balance, how much money we have. You start with $100,000, I should say as well, if you start with the career mode. If you start in the freedom mode or the creative mode, you start with $2.5 million, so plenty. Then we have the shop and, of course, the main menu, which we'll go into all that later. Then we also have the mini map, which we can open or close. And we can switch vehicles, and then we can jump down there. So that's our tour progress there as we go. So now you know the basic user interface. Let's move on. You can't just stand here. Please go to the marked location using the left stick. Okay, so left stick is forward, back, and then camera is the right stick, at least if you're on Switch. There'll be little icons on your screen to move things around if you are playing on a different version of the game. And then you can see up at the top, it says it's right plus left to open the help menu. So then in the help menu, there's all sorts of different things in here you can read through. I would recommend if you have questions, go in here and see if this will answer it. They're not super helpful, and I'll be doing tutorials on a lot of aspects of the game, so you can check those out. But yeah, those are available for you. And then if I hit the plus button, it'll take us into this menu, which we can't access any of that until we get through it. But that's from the upper right-hand side of the screen there, at the top of the UI has the plus button. The minus button is the shop, but it's not available during the tour. Then obviously A, we can jump down the bottom right-hand side. It shows that. And then left stick opens up the map, but it's not letting us do that during the tour. So we'll go up here to where it wants us to go. Perfect. The first step before you can start, you have to get into your vehicle. So we'll hit Y to hit enter. And again, it might be different controls depending on what you're using to play. It says, okay, before we get started, let's take a look at how to operate the vehicle. Control the player view directions. So again, the right stick is going to rotate your camera up, down, around, everything like that. And then you can zoom in or out using the pad there. Right clicking on the thumbstick will go in or out of cab. Drive to the marked spot and wait for the next instructions. And again, you can accelerate and steer using the controls. So what I will say, and that there down the bottom right-hand corner has the fuel level, and then also your speed is down to the bottom right-hand corner. What I will say as well, if you are outside of the tractor, which it's not going to let me get out right now, if you click the same button like this to go in and out of the cab, it'll go from third person to not. So just be aware of that. But yeah, we're going to start driving and see our speed is posted down there. We're bringing this cultivator over to this field to cultivate. Okay, so to be able to use your tools, you must bring them into working position. So B is to lower your tool. It's going to be to turn on your tool, to unfold your tool, to make it work. Basically, whatever position your tool is in, it'll have two positions, the working position and the non-working position. Whether that means unfolding, turning on, all those different things. If you hit the B button, it's going to go from the non-working to working and vice versa. So it doesn't matter what you're using for us, it's just lowering it down, but that's what it does. Great job. Now it's time to work the rest of the field. Drive forward to cultivate the remaining area. Process loosens the soil and prepares it for planting. That doesn't really matter. It's just a visual change for you. You just have to do it before you plant, essentially. In general, unless you have a direct drill seeder. But yeah, and we'll get through this pretty quick. There is AI workers you can hire to do things. We'll hire one here in a second. So it has us do that in this kind of little tutorial. And then you also can use GPS, which is pretty cool. And I'll see if I can't show you guys that before the end of it if I forget. It'll be pretty straightforward to get this done. There we go. All right, then we need to lift the tool. Boom, we'll lift it up. We're going to go park this out of the way. Just like this. All right, and then we can detach it if we'd like to. So before you can use another one, you have to detach it. So if I hit A, that's going to detach that. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to go get the seeder, which is over here, and all you have to do to attach it is just align yourself perfectly with it, and it'll automatically attach. So there we go, automatically attached. Nice work. Lining up for an attachment could be a tricky task. A seeder places your crop seeds evenly into the prepared soil, giving you your plants the best start. And don't worry about refilling it. The seeder is automatically supplied. It does charge you for the seeds, but it's automatically supplied. So now we're going to drive to there where we need to go plant. So I'm just going to sneak through these trees here real quick. All right. Nope, didn't like my alignment there. There we go. So you've made it back to the field. Great. August is the perfect time to plant canola. So let's get that right seed ready. Select the canola, and then you can start sowing. So there's different seeds down there. I'm going to hit right and X to change it. It's currently on wheat. There's barley. There's oats. There's canola. And there's other ones as well. Now, it doesn't actually matter. There's no seasonal growth. You can plant whatever you want whenever you want during the year in this game, because it's just a mobile game. So the seeder's ready to go, but we won't be doing this planting ourselves this time. Hire a worker to take care of the sowing for you. Workers can handle all kinds of field work, making your job easier and reducing your workload whenever you need it. You also can hire field jobs, which I'll show you that as well later, where you can just kind of have the workers do it for you, and you don't have to use your own equipment or anything, I don't believe. So we're going to hit... Now, if I hold X down, which I can't do it here. If I hit X, it's going to, have it... Planting is underway. I'm going to switch to our next vehicle. Now we're in the harvester. Nice. The wheat field is just behind the farm, but take it slow on your way there. This is a big machine, and with the trailer attached, might be a trickier maneuver. Nah, it's going to be fine. But if you hold X down, you can switch into the GPS mode, which I will show you guys at the end of the guided tour that they're taking us on, and then, yeah, I'll show you some of that. So I've got some other extra tips and tricks and things like that that'll show you guys at the end of this, so don't worry. Now, once it's driving around there, you don't have to worry about destroying your crops. You can drive through them. It's not going to hurt them. You can see the portion of them there that's still ready to harvest. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to detach that, just like we've done in the past. And now we got to line up the harvester with the header, and it'll automatically attach, and then the header trailer will disappear. There we go. Okay, now we need to harvest the wheat, so we can do that. And again, the harvester needs to be unfolded, the header lowered, and turned on. However, all of that happens if you just hit the B button. Again, it goes from the non-working position into the working position. So there we go. Okay, now we're going to harvest. And it doesn't have the option, or allow me the option to... there we go. It shows our current fill level down there and what we're harvesting, so you can see wheat. And then you'll slowly see a green bar start to work itself across there on the bottom left-hand side. You can slowly see just some of it start to come out there, which is great. But I normally can use GPS to make this a little bit easier. Oh, I hit the push down the stick button. That's my bad. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You can harvest at 9 miles an hour. If you're used to Farming Simulator, you know that normally you can't harvest at 9 miles an hour. You can harvest at 6 miles an hour. So kind of nice to be able to do that. You also see there's kind of a row of material coming out of the back of that. That is straw. You can bale that or collect it using a forage wagon and sell that as kind of an extra thing, or use it for animals. I will say that you only get that off of certain crops. You get it off of wheat, barley, and oats in this game. You're not going to get it off of anything else. So just be aware of that. If you want straw, you have to do one of those crops. You're not going to get crops or straw from the other crops. And if you don't want to deal with it, you can simply just cultivate it back into the ground and not even have to worry about it. It says, good job, your wheat field is fully harvested. The combine's grain tank is full. It's not really, there's barely any in it. So it's time to move the crop. Hop into the tractor with the trailer. That's what you'll need to transport your grain. So we'll switch vehicles again. Here we are, perfect. Now drive the tractor over, or tractor and trailer back to the field. Use it to collect the wheat from the combine. So head over there and get ready to load the grain. Make sure to drive close to the combine. Position your trailer directly under the discharge pipe. So you always drive to the left side of, I think, almost every harvester, if not. I know all grain harvesters unload from the left side, but I think every type of harvester does for the most part. So you want to loop around and be just on the left side of it right here. And then that grain pipe will come out. Theoretically, if I actually line up a little bit better. There we go. Overloading is done. Wait here until the wheat from the trailer is unloaded. It goes pretty quick, so there's not very much in there. Perfect. Now we're going to go sell this off, which... where we gotta go, just right behind us here. Now you don't have to sell the wheat right off. It'll tell us here in a minute as well that you don't have to do that. But for the sake of the tutorial, we're selling it right away. However, you can hold on to it and wait for a better price if you'd like to. If you don't need the money right away, I'd recommend doing that. Once you pull over top, it's gonna automatically unload. We'll just let it do that, and then we're gonna make a little bit of money. So there we go. Now it's having us go over to our farm silo, which we'll loop back around to. 1382, we should have gotten more for that wheat than that, that's for sure. Even that small amount of wheat there. Now again, it does take a little bit of work to get things rolling and cooking and things like that to make some good money, so. But kind of building up from nothing is part of the fun of the game, I think, personally, so. All right, here's the silo. So you can dump your stuff into here. It's going to tell us that in a second. And then you can wait until you're ready to sell. All tasks complete. Great work. We can leave the vehicle. Okay, so if we hop out of here, it's a quick introduction to arable farming. Cultivate, sow, harvest, and repeat. That's pretty much what there is there. So, yeah, okay. Now we are in control. So a couple things I want to show you. First off here, we're still on to good to go there. If I hold the X button down, it'll take me over to the GPS menu, and then what you can do is if I line up, which there's no work to actually be done on the field right now, but if I get lined up like that, I hit X, and then it'll automatically lock on that line and work along that line, so you can use that as a GPS function, which is super cool. Now, one thing we can do as well, if I go into the menu, that field that we're on right now, too, if I go scroll across over here to the worker, AI worker, I can select that field and then hit X for a field job. You can build a grape orchard, an olive orchard, or I can create arable farmland if it's not that, or I can have like someone cultivate it. So if I want to cultivate with a cultivator, disc harrow's cheaper, I guess. So we'll start that. Boom. And then if we get out of there, field one. Oh, I cultivated. Did I cultivate the wrong one? I did. I think I did. Field one is what I paid to cultivate. Yeah, okay. Well, I bet I can cultivate this field right here. Let's go back in the menu. I wanted to do that. If I do field job, field 2, cultivate. Let's do that with a disc harrow. Start. And look at that. You can pay someone to cultivate it for you if you'd like to do that. I'd recommend using your own equipment if you have that available to you. But you can hire people to do that as well if you'd like. So that's an option. Now in the store, let's hit minus to look at the store real quick. You can come in here. You can buy whatever you need. If you have a question about what it does, you hit Y. Tractor is used for pulling tools. It's very basic. Give you a very basic idea of what you got here to work with. A lot of the stuff is quite expensive, so just be aware of that. But you got everything in here you could possibly need. If I go into this menu here, we have weather. If you want to take a look at when it's going to be sunny again or anything like that. Prices in here. So for example, our wheat, we have excuse me, we have 4,500 liters in storage, and it shows you the current prices over here and where to sell them. You can tag those like that, but if I hit X, it'll show price fluctuations, which you can see. The best price is going to be, if we scroll across here, looks like January is the best price, and that's going to be about $12.23, so a lot better than what we're getting right now. So that's why I'd recommend waiting on that. This will show you a list of your vehicles. This will show your finances, so that's how much we made on harvest. It'll show you how much we spent on wages. And then animals, we do start off with some animals. So those are your chickens right there, which have some grain already fed to them. They need wheat, barley, or sorghum. That's the 3 types of food that chickens will take, but I digress. And you can take contracts, which contracts are a great way to earn some extra money and to use different pieces of equipment. So I recommend if you don't have the equipment needed, make sure you hit borrow items so you actually can do it, and that's Y, or X to accept if you want to just do it with your own equipment. Now, you do lose a little bit of money if you borrow the items. Like, for example, that says lease costs $800. That means it's going to cost $800 to lease that equipment, and go through it right there. Now, if we go here, here's our challenges. It shows you how far we're on the challenges that we're working on. Settings, you can go through here and change all sorts of different settings. I'm going to lower that down. We don't need that to be that crazy. Various statistics are going to be in here. And then if you own a production point, oops, there we go. On a production point, it'll show up in there. But yeah, those are most of the basics. I think that's everything I've got for you guys. And then, yeah, so going into the help menu, again, you can, it's, what is it, right and left. And then you can go read through any of this stuff to figure out how to do any of it. So that'll help you if you don't want to watch tutorial videos. But yeah, hopefully I'll put some tutorial videos out for you guys to take a look at things. And again, same button as switching from in and out of cab. For me, it's pushing down the right stick to go from third person or not. But yeah. And if you want to get stuff out of your silo, I should note as well, this little icon right here, that means to get stuff out of it. You just pull under here, and then you can select what you'd like to grab out of your silo. And you can put multiple things in here at once. So hopefully those are a lot of your kind of basics kind of covered and questions answered and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's what I got. If you guys enjoyed, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn on your notification bells so you don't miss any future videos we may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.